At least 32 people died in the September 17 and 18 Hezbollah electronic devices blasts in Lebanon. Some 3,000 were injured. The Lebanese government has accused Israel of carrying out the attacks via pagers and walkie-talkies. Israeli officials have remained tight-lipped on the blasts, but on September 18, Israel's defense minister announced a new phase in the war. A few analysts have weighed in on some key questions that are being asked following these attacks.
I think some places you don't have good reception, so it may be useful just to have a receiver. And the pagers really, they don't send any data of where you are. And that's why they're using pagers, so that you cannot triangulate you. Because mobile phones send out signals to cell towers, you can easily find, where are they? And that has been the problem for Hamas in Gaza, in that they've used cell phones. I mean, from Hezbollah's standpoint, it was, of course, smart to use pagers, but they never calculated that probably the Israelis were smarter than they were.
Explosive devices require 5 main components. You need a container, a battery, triggering device, a detonator, and an explosive charge. Typical pager will already have the first 3 of this list. So they needed to have a detonator and an explosive charge. Now, the size of such a detonator could be between 5 to 10 centimeters. So it will theoretically fit within this component.
And I think Israel has correctly devised a strategy to without going to major conventional war, to combat that in areas where Israel and Hezbollah are not as good. Their counterintelligence is not as good. Their cyber tools are not as good. And frankly, their ability to track their own people and what's going on in their own territory is not as good. So it seems most likely that Israeli intelligence, either near the factory or en route in the shipping, got a hold of these devices and inserted some explosive materials that were then detonated upon receipt of a digital message. And there has been reports from Hezbollah-linked sources in Lebanon that there was a code received on these pagers just prior to when they heated and exploded. So I think that's the working theory, that there was a physical manipulation of the devices. That probably holds true for these walkie-talkies that exploded today, as well as of the pagers.